you inhale, for nevermore shall you travail. The hymn we croon is sharp and cold, as tried and true as it is old. Come join the tune if you be bold. We sing a song of blood and gold. The ravens gather, come to feast. On sovereigns great down to the least. They taste the same as souls released, if serf or king or knight or priest.
Okay, we're going to give this one moment because apparently there's an issue with this showing up on YouTube. So we're going to hang out for a minute and see if this is working.
Whee! Can someone provide the YouTube address so we can see it on YouTube?
Okay, we are apparently online. And greetings all. Welcome to the first absolute shit show of a live stream. But we have got everybody on board finally. Okay, this is Ravens Gather and 9th century Britain campaign taking place in 9th century Britain. And brief recap. We have our players. Sir Edward Dunn, nobleman, last surviving knight of the Red Ravens Mercenary Company. Roden Wallace, a completely legitimate businessman. And Brother Ainsley, the uh, chaplain, I guess we'll call him. Now, when we first started out, the Ravens were hired by Bretonwald Sigbert of Essex to enter his kingdom and help put down a pagan uprising that was threatening the peace. The Ravens are in the nominal employ of the Kingdom of Caerleon under King Percival III, who agreed to send the Ravens because he didn't want their region to. Oh my God, forgive me. We had a bit of a start. He didn't want the region destabilized. However, upon arriving at the narrow way, the valley you see before you now, they were ambushed, and the 3,000 man army of the Red Ravens was eliminated almost entirely, down to 19 men, 3 of them grievously wounded. They began hot-tailing it back east, west rather, hoping to reach safety, dogged the entire time by strange men in the woods. They decide to head to the nearest settlement, the town of Bramblewood nearby. And once they arrived, they found burned down farms and desolation everywhere they looked. Reaching the town proper, they find that the lord had died a year previous. No new lord has been assigned because no one is interested in territory this close to the border. And the town is being harassed continuously by a band of brigands over 100 strong, run by someone simply known as Wolf. The Ravens have decided to try to train the peasants of the town to help defend the region and hopefully be able to reach Caerleon, since the way back to the town is continuously patrolled and anyone who tries to leave is attacked. When last we left off, 6 members of the brigands arrived at the gate, expecting to be let in and have their way with the town, and our heroes butchered and slaughtered them, all but one, which they have just captured. They are at the north gate, as shown here. Okay, gentlemen, you've got 5 dead brigands, 6 beautiful war horses running around the town, which people are trying to collect as they're very upset right now, and one yabbering lunatic who's screaming and yelling, begging to be spared, covered in the blood of his fellows. What do you do?
I say we cut him, but um, I'll leave that up to Sir Edward.
The townsfolk are starting to gather around. They look like they're in the mood for a lynching. People are screaming and yelling. The mayor, in particular, is calling for his head. Let's string him up from the old church tower right away. Send them a message. That's what we should do. Send them a message that we won't be abused anymore. Captain Melkor, the captain of your guard, is doing his best to hold back the crowd with his three men, but he's having a time of it. They're about to grab this guy. What are you guys going to do?
Brother Ainsley says a quiet prayer to the Lord and looks to Sir Edward. To see the
Give these people their justice. Put them in a pipe outside the gates.
I'm sorry, could you? I'm having a little trouble with your mic again. Could you speak closer into it?
Yes, I said, give the people their justice and put them on a pike outside the gates.
The live prisoner, or just
The dead bodies.
the dead
And
bodies?
we'll hold
Okay.
the prisoners for the marshal whenever he arrives, or the sheriff.
Okay, you guys take possession of the living prisoner. They begin hacking the heads off the dead five, and they start running up to the walls and putting them on the sharp stakes at the palisade. People are still eyeballing this guy, though. They look like they want to have some fun with helping one. So, what are you guys gonna do?
Mm.
Should we let them have their justice?
He's begging, no, 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 please don't kill me, don't kill me. They made me take up this life of crime. I wanted nothing to do with it. I was just a traveling peddler. I was conscripted. I was.
It's not for mine to judge. Brother Ainsley hangs his head low and says, his life is not mine to decide, but for holy God's. Vengeance is his, and none other's.
That's right. That's right, brother. Not these people's either, is it? You've got to get me out of here. You've got to get me somewhere safe.
Brother Ainsley does not look at the man. He takes his eyes and looks heavenward. He's answering to a higher authority, not this brigand.
Okay, your remaining guards and Captain Melkar are standing with you in a semicircle around this guy. The crowd's about done putting the heads up on the palisade wall, and they don't look quite satiated yet.
Sir Edward, Brother Ainsley asks, if you are going to question this,
What?
How many bandits are your people? How many exactly are your
Uh,
people, your bandits?
I don't. Can we please go somewhere safe, sir? The crowd is getting very rowdy and loud. They're starting to throw garbage, and
Yes,
some of it's
well,
hitting your guys
we'll
as
back
well.
them into this building here. Hopefully they don't burn us down.
There you are, right next to the stables on one side of the road, and the old barracks is directly in the other side of the street to the north gate.
Is there stockades where we could place this guy?
The barracks is probably your safest bet there. It's been burned, but parts of it are still usable. There are some stealable rooms left.
I turn to my other compatriots. This man will probably say just about anything to try to stay alive. I don't trust a word that he says.
No, sir, I'll tell you whatever you want to know. I swear, I don't even want to be with these men.
Where is your bandit camp?
They're all over. There are men at the at the old church. There are men at the mines and the old tower. There are men at the old horse farm. They're everywhere. And many in the woods. unnatural things going on in the woods. They say there's a phantom out there. It's been killing our men by night, taking their heads.
Handsome.
Sounds like
Aye.
they're getting their just. I
And Captain Melkar breaks in there. Is like, that's probably the knacker we've been hearing about. It's going about at night, killing them, and throwing them their heads over the walls.
It sounds like we have a few bandits in the town still, if they're in the old church.
Well, there's two churches. There's the main church, which is about 3 miles west of the town, and then there is an old church, which is in the center of town, just south of the market, which is currently being used as an infirmary. That's where your wounded guys are right now.
Okay, so he's talking about people are out in the church outside of town.
Yes, the large church outside of town is the one where men are stationed.
How large is this church?
Okay, and you guys are getting now pelted with garbage, and people are starting to get hostile.
I feel like
If you're- if
we
you're
I I hold up my hands out to the crowd real quick, and I turn to my compatriots. I think it's best that we like put this man in stocks in the center of town. Just leave him for the townspeople. We got to focus on.
No, sir, please. I could be of great help. I could be of great help to you.
sounds like a good idea to me. We'll let the town deal with them. We'll go to people at the church.
Let's focus on preparing the villagers for what's to come.
Okay, so you're gonna
So,
let them
Edward, I
drag
leave the
him off.
military matters to you.
I pick them up off the ground and I push them towards the crowd. And I say, everybody else get prepared for training in the morning.
Okay, and let's do a quick roll. Yeah. Okay, the mayor puts him on his knees, leans over, and whispers something in his ear. Guy looks horrified. Then the mayor cuts his throat right there.
I would have done that.
And Boyden, you overheard part of it. What was
Oh.
said because you were the closest. You won't be jabbering today, Jabber, he says to him. Right before he kills him.
My eyes widen a bit, but then I pretend I didn't hear anything, and I start whistling to myself. Wander off towards my compatriots, and I motion to them to find like a quiet corner.
Okay, and you guys notice the mayor, Ellis, and his wife Etta are now having an argument. Although they've moved off to the side so nobody can disturb them. And the townsfolk are starting to disperse back to their homes.
All right, it has come to my attention. I overheard the mayor saying something about like, you're not going to jabber to anyone. So I believe that he might be in on this. He might be taking money from the raids or something. I'm not exactly too sure, but I think he's an accomplice with the bandits.
I thought it was a little weird when he leaned in to whisper.
And
Did he say
the
anything
bandit did seem particularly frightened when the mayor came up to him.
What are the mayor and his wife arguing about?
They're off to the side; nobody can hear them, and they seem to be speaking in pretty quiet voices. But it's quite an animated argument. It's still going on.
We can either take care of this now, or we can wait for dusk when there's less people. But we should probably rectify this situation and have a talk with the mayor. What do you guys think?
I will leave the military matters to you, but I would like to know the traditions and We can't have headless corpses lying around the town. Do they burn them? Do they throw them over the walls? What is
The
tradition?
headless corpses are all in a pile right near the gate,
Mhm.
amid a pool of blood and gore, which you guys left behind. Although it's bloodier and gorier now.
Are there any signs of how they dispose of their corpses in these parts?
There's a cemetery outside of the church, the large church outside of town, but they've been mostly burning the bodies down
I,
by the wharfs.
I
People
doubt it would
have
do
been
well by
killed lately.
Bramble. Sorry, go ahead.
Since basically everyone's sequestered in town now, because anyone who leaves basically gets taxed. They've been burning their dead down by the piers, in the south end of town by the lake.
I doubt that taking these corpses to the cemetery would do well by the people of Bramblewood.
Yeah, they're not even bringing their own dead out there anymore.
Right, because the bandits are at the church.
Well, we can't leave them here. I go to the fellow who helped me at the old church. Is he present?
He was standing off to the back. He was watching everything. He's still there. He's just kind of shaking his head. He didn't participate in the mob activity at all, though.
No, neither did I. Neither did Brother Ainsley. Um, Excuse me, gentlemen. I'm going to see to the dead. And with that, Brother Ainsley approaches that man and
That's Wilhelm.
Wilhelm. Um, and to make a long story short, I would like to find out how to properly dispose of the dead without making the townspeople angry, but also without causing any disease.
So I'll take care of it. So I'll have a card brought in. The Naka usually handles these things, but he's one of the last brave men in town. He's out there in the woods somewhere killing these bastards.
Well, I, for one, cannot celebrate killing. These men seem to be hellbound if they have any destination at all. I thank you for your help. Let me know if I can be of assistance. But that week goes back to his writing.
Boyden seems very perturbed, so he's going to wander away from the rest of the group and he's going to try to attempt to sneak into the mayor's house.
Okay, they're the two of them are still having their argument. You're going to head down there.
Yep.
Well, okay, so that's a good quarter mile south of you. It's right off the marketplace, next to the well, in the center of town. The streets are pretty deserted. Everyone's gone back into their homes or their shops. You basically can get there unobserved.
Got it.
It's approaching noon now.
Oh, it's morning, even afternoon. Okay.
I'm going to search. I'm going to look for what is equivalent to like an office, or where, and I'm going to look for any evidence of any like wrongdoing.
Okay, well, how are you going to enter the house? Are you just going to go through the door? There doesn't seem to be anyone watching. Or are you going to attempt to use one of the windows in back? How do you want to try to get in?
I'm just going to go in through the front door.
Okay. You guys have been in and out of the house, so probably no one will think anything of that. Okay, so you walk in. He's got, they've basically got the receiving room down at the bottom, the dining room, and their kitchen, and everything else appears to be upstairs. You haven't been upstairs yet, however.
I'm going to wander upstairs.
Okay, on the second floor, you find a large bedroom, the privy, and there is a locked door across from the bedroom.
I'm going to attempt to pick the lock.
Okay, what's your lockpick?
My lockpick is. I actually get to use a skill I'm actually good at. For it's skullduggery, right?
Yes, and it's a -3 lock, so give me a 7 or better on a +1 roll.
7 or better on a +1 roll. Hold on. I'm rolling 2 dice, right?
Yes, 2d6. Everything's done on 2d6.
I rolled an 8. 7 + 1.
Okay. You play around with it for a couple seconds, and it clicks, and the door swings open. Inside, you see a large desk, a dresser off to the side, a large collection of alcohol on a shelf, and some old maps in a bucket next to the desk.
Uh, I'm going to collect the map. Well, I'm going to take a quick look at the maps to see if there's anything important on there. And
Uh,
then,
one of the town, one of the region, and one of the kingdom of Caerleon. None of them particularly high quality, just basic stuff.
I'll just leave it. I'm going to rifle through the desk.
Okay. There are some papers in there. Do you have academic skill at all?
Oh, this is terrible. I might. Let me check. I am just a.
A simple
I have
business.
one.
You have one. You are literate. Okay.
Yes.
You have one. You are functionally literate. Okay. So from what it's mostly town business stuff. There are some letters, unsent letters to the royal court at Camelot, requesting that new lord be assigned as quickly as possible. There are letters that came in return saying that no one is interested. Some complaints from various people in the town about various issues. There's several complaints about a place called the Red Lantern near the wharfs. People are concerned about sin and debauchery taking place down there. There's complaints about the midden pits being too close to the walls, things of that nature, just general town stuff. Nothing particularly leaps out at you.
So, from what I'm here to gather, is I don't see any incriminating evidence.
No, nothing appears to be particularly special.
Uh, that is very disconcerting. Um,
Do you have
I'll,
a what's your perception skill?
my perception.
Yes.
Let's see. What is my perception skill?
It's
Uh,
just
one.
one. Okay. So, and what's your mind bonus?
My mind bonus is 8.
So +3. Okay. So you're a +4. Give
Oh,
me a.
so it's a +1, right?
It's +4 entirely because you have your mind. It's based on your mind bonus, and then you have the bonus on the perception. So give me a -1 roll. So 7 or better on -1.
Got it. Got it.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Doc,
I
after
might.
Boyden's done, I would like Ainsley to take an action after he's done here.
Okay. Yeah. Let's just resolve this real quick.
Ooh, 6.
Okay. Yeah. Nothing else appears to leap out at you. It just seems to be all town business stuff.
I see nothing wrong. I'm
And,
gonna.
and as you are finishing up, you do hear an argument coming down the street very close to the house now. That sounds like two people you know.
All right. I'm actually going to try to leave everything the way it was, and uh, I'm gonna lock the door from the inside, and I'm gonna see if I could hear the argument from inside this room.
Okay. Well, let me switch over to Brother Ainsley real quick, and then we'll get back to you. Okay, Brother Ainsley, what are you up to?
Brother Ainsley has two quirks that he'd like to use. One is the enhanced hearing,
Hmm.
excellent hearing, and adds 50% range and +1 perception versus sound.
Okay.
And he also has the luck trait, and he'd like to discreetly listen in on the argument between the mayor and the wife.
Okay. Do you also have stealth by any chance?
I do.
Okay, what is your stealth? Give me a -2 stealth roll to see if you can get within reasonable range.
All right. 3 ranks in stealth, and this is body.
No, stealth is just straight skill.
Okay.
So
So
three, oh, so +2 total. 7 or better on a plus with +2.
9 + 2 is 11.
Oh yeah, you're good. Okay, you're able to meander over there, and they don't seem to notice you. And basically, you hear overhear the wife Edda say, "You brought this on all of us. You know that. You brought this on all of us. He's like, be quiet, woman. I did nothing. I did what I had to be done. I did what everyone wanted me to do, what I was elected to run this town for. You didn't think things out, did you? You didn't think things out, and now look at the mess everyone is in because of it. None of this would have happened if you hadn't done what you did. Don't speak of that woman. We agreed we'd never speak of that. And then they start heading back towards the house.
Okay, now out of character, I know that Boyden has gone to the house. I don't remember him saying he was going to the house in character.
No, he never
So
mentioned
therefore,
nothing
I
to you.
don't.
You saw him slip off in that direction.
Yeah,
I mentioned nothing.
exactly. So I have no idea that your character is in foreseeable trouble. Um, report to Sir Edward.
Okay,
Well,
Sir
now.
Edward is there, observing, watching them throw the. Wilhelm is now and his boys are now throwing the bodies up onto the cart that they're going to take them down to the piers to burn on. They're all kind of
I'm
grumbling
getting
and griping about the blood.
I would also like to have, while he's doing his sneak around, and what observing the bodies being handled, I would also go around and start getting a group together to gather the war horses or the horses.
Okay, yep. The you guys managed to put them all together. You get them into the stable, which is right near the gate. It's been a bit torn up too, but the fence is in basically good shape, so they're all in there now. That'll be where your horse is as well as the brother Ainsley's cart horses,
Yeah.
and your guys' one wagon is inside the stable yard as well. So they're all gathered together.
Brother Ainsley cannot celebrate watching men basically going to hell. So he crosses himself and says a prayer for the departed souls. And after singing that brief prayer, he approaches Sir Edward. Might I have a word of your time?
Yes, my friend. How can I help?
Seems to me that the mayor and his beloved are in quite of an entangle over something that he did that put the entire town at risk. I don't have any more details, but I think some investigation might be in order. Just something to think about.
The mayor could be potentially corrupted.
Possibly. What would you have me doing at the moment? My hands are empty.
I was just helping to get the horses gathered together in the stable. Other than that, I guess.
All right. I would like to get a little closer to Bramblewood's finest horses. After having heard so much of them, I would make myself useful there. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so
Sure,
you guys
and after
are
that, we will be going into some training.
okay. You want to try to get the crowd gathered back up to do some more training.
Right.
Okay, the captain and Captain America and his boys start heading out to grab people. We'll let you know as soon as we have everyone rounded up, sir.
Yes, sir. And I will have to figure out how we'll go about investigating this mayor.
Okay, now let us jump back to Boyden real quick. That you hear them entering the house. You are locked in the office, and you hear them coming inside. They're bitching and moaning at each other pretty fiercely. She's calling him a stupid wretch, and he's calling her an old hag, and basically back and forth like that.
Doc, I have a question.
Yes,
Was it the front door that was locked or only the office?
the front door was open.
The front door
office
was open. The
locked.
office was locked. Thank you. Is there any way out of this office, Atmos?
My perception's not great. Do I see anything?
There is a window. Other than going back into the hall, you'd have to go pass right in front of them to leave through the front door.
Well, I'm not going to touch that yet. Does the door open inwards or outwards?
It opens inward.
Okay, so I'm going to position myself in such a way that as someone opens the door and enters, I'll be on the other side of that door.
Is the window large enough to leave through?
Oh yes, yes.
Is it open or closed?
It is closed.
It's closed, but it's just shutters. There's no glass. That's very expensive. This is just shuttered windows. They're on a swing. You would have to unlatch them, and you wouldn't be able to relatch them, but you could close them. There's a nice little ledge outside, and it's not a far drop, so you could definitely get out that way.
I'm gonna position myself on the other side of the door as it opens, so I
Oh,
can get
well,
the.
nobody seems to be coming upstairs yet.
Oh, I'm gonna
They're
wait
downstairs.
here.
Sounds like they're getting ready for dinner.
I'm gonna set up shop right here.
Okay, you're just going to hang out?
Yep.
Okay. Now let us get back to Sir Edward and Brother Ainsley. You guys have finished rounding up the horses. These are outstanding coursers. These are some of the finest war horses you've ever seen. And you see why this place has the reputation it did for breeding these horses. They all seem calm now. They've got them in the stable.
Yeah. Brother Ainsley was raised in a rural area and happens to admire animals a great deal. So he is cheered by being close to horses, and he's saying things like, "Of all of God's gentlest and most innocent creatures, why horses have to be involved in war is beyond me. If horses were in charge, I'd imagine things would be much more peaceful." He's mostly talking to himself on the horses while admiring them.
Okay. So it's going to take Captain America probably an hour or two to start getting people ready. Are you guys going to do anything in the meantime, or just hang out by the stables until then?
Yes, I'd like to do a little more than just admire the horses. I'd like the bandits rode in on them. What are the
Yes.
horses carrying?
The horses just have simple saddles on them.
Anything?
There's some bags. It's mostly just camping gear, flint, tinder, pegs. There's a folded up tent on one.
Okay.
There's a bow and a quiver of arrows on one.
What kind of wood is the camping material made out of?
Oh, just local oak.
Local oak, and there's plenty of local oak in these parts.
Yes, this is a heavily forested area where
Is
people
there
live.
any sign of any flowers, um, growings, herbs that might be particular to a certain area?
Nothing that you see. It doesn't look like there's any herbs collected. These guys probably aren't very big into alchemy.
No, no, not that at all. Just something they perhaps have passed by. I'd also like to
Nothing, just thistles and things that are in the horses' fur. Nothing,
thistles. Thistles. Okay, thistles.
nothing
All right.
odd.
Okay. I examine all the horses and treat them very, very friendly, as they deserve.
Yes, there's very little feed, unfortunately, because there's very little food in general here in town. But the woman in charge of the stables, Mally, is seeing to them and giving them what she can.
On our way here, did we see anything that might count as is there any grasslands or anything like that that might help?
There's a fair amount of grass outside the walls.
All right. And one last question: are the horses well fed?
The horses are pretty well fed so far. Yes.
So the bandits have means of grasslands in large amounts. All right.
Yeah,
Thank you.
the surrounding region has a lot of grass. Yeah, there's no problem them feeding outside the walls.
All right, but that might also tell us, next time if we happen to be out there, there may be tracks to follow back to one of their camps or something. Just food for thought, gathering in evidence.
Yeah, the road leading out north of the town is paved up to the church. The southern road leading into the town is dirt, is a
Right.
packed dirt road.
But being bandits, they're going to use whatever roads they desire or lack of thereof.
Yes.
Right. All right. Edward?
I'm, I'm kind of thinking that, if a stray horse, you can smack it on the butt and it's going to run home or run towards home. We could potentially find their
Cat,
area, their camp
cat.
that way.
About you?
Can y'all hear me?
You're low volume, but I can hear you.
That's one way we could potentially find their camp by just letting one of the horses go, but I don't know if we should do that.
I don't think it would be well by Bramblewood's people, given the horse's history.
Right.
But they may agree to it. I would ask the stable mistress herself first. I'm sure she's quite happy about seeing some old four-footed friends walk back in the stable. And the first time in who knows how long.
Yeah, she's there grooming the horses, picking things out of their hair and whatnot.
Yeah.
That would also be taking us away from the town. If there was an invasion, we would be gone and no leadership.
Brother Ainsley will just start making idle chat with the stable mistress and ask her things about if she's seen anything unusual, things about phantoms.
Phantoms? Oh, I don't know anything about phantoms. Well, there's the knacker. That's probably what I imagine he was talking about. He's the executioner. The old lord brought him in. Bless his soul. God rest him. Deserved better than what he got.
He lives on the outskirts.
Oh
Alone.
yes, the knackers and executioners never live inside town walls. People don't like having him around.
Right,
He
but
was a quiet and good-natured fellow, from what I remember, though.
so what would stop the bandits from attacking a good-natured fellow besides the fact that he has an axe for a professional tool?
Well, I imagine he's not walking into camp and saying hello to them. He's an
Right.
odd one. He's a Pict. The Lord brought him with him when he took up residence.
And
An old servant of his.
has he always been friendly to the town?
I wouldn't say the town was friendly to him, but he certainly doesn't seem to love the bandits very much.
Well,
We
compassion.
haven't seen him in town since the incident with the Baron.
How long ago was that?
A little over a year ago.
And what
Wasn't right what happened.
were you present with the incident?
I really shouldn't talk about this, sir. You should talk to the mayor. This isn't my business. I don't want
see.
to be involved in this. I really have
no
to speak to
disrespect.
these animals. Good day to you, brother. Good day to you.
Yeah.
She
no
seems very
disrespect. I
upset
think.
and nervous, and
Yeah.
she bolts away from you.
Okay,
She's
I try to calm her down as best I can. My character has. We never did decide what influence did.
Influences for interacting with the individual persons.
Right, but I didn't put any points into it because when we were making our characters, we didn't have a definition for it. So my character has a strong voice and he has a high mind. He'd like to ease her gently. In other words, so she's not so afraid, if he can.
Okay, so you're gonna press. She's trying to end.
No. I'm not pressing her. Doc, Ainsley's doing the opposite. He's consoling her. He's doing what monks ought to do. He's pointing out something like, say, it's good to have the horses back. I'm sure they missed this place. Something to get her mind off of her troubles. He's not trying to get more information out of her. She's already frazzled.
Okay, it's everything's quite all right, sir. I'm just I'm very frazzled. Things have been very difficult these last several months between losing the Lord and the bandits and hardly any food. Although it's good to see these beasts.
Agreed. I have a way around herbs and natural things and healing. Should you need of them, whether they be for yourself or your horses or your family, do let me know.
Thank you kindly, but
You have a good night.
Wilhelm takes good care of us. Thank you. Thank you, sir. You have a good night, brother.
And you. Yeah. Meanwhile, I have to ask, is Boyden hearing any wonderful soap opera talk?
They are downstairs. She's cooking. They're griping and sniping at each other, but nothing of any particular note. There's a lot of discuss about one another's weight going on right now. Okay, so Sir Edward, what are you up to?
I'm going over to the barracks to see what is in the barracks, weaponry and armor or anything like that.
The barracks is half burned. There's still some usable rooms, but it was absolutely emptied by the bandits. There is nothing of worth here. It's basically a shell of a building. They even took the blankets and all of that.
All right. I guess I'm gonna go walk the streets of the town looking for Boyden.
Good luck.
Okay.
I don't know where he went.
Okay. You're walking around for a while. You don't see him. Eventually, Captain Merrick comes up to you. So I've got a couple dozen of the town folk ready in the market square. They're ready to start drilling. If you want to participate or observe.
Yes, I would like to participate.
Okay, so he's got about a dozen or so of the strongest lads there. A lot of the people didn't want to participate just because everybody's kind of amped up with what just happened at the gate, and though they were initially quite bloodthirsty, apparently there is a lot of concern now that this is going to bring down death and destruction on the lot of them. Now that they've killed some of the bandits, but the men are already the dozen or so men are ready to start drilling, and the captain starts going through the procedures. He's teaching them how to use basically stabs and spears right now, and their
I'm
spears are
joining.
basically just sharpened staves at this point.
I'm joining in line with the townspeople to help encourage and show them how to do it properly and
About you?
like that.
Okay, what's your military skill?
Uh, two, two.
Okay, give me just a straight roll with a +2 to see how it goes.
I got a 7.
7, 8, 9. So it's a pretty pretty
No, I
standard
got a
trick.
5 plus 2.
Okay, so it goes. Some of the people are a little slow to follow instructions. These aren't military people, but you whip them in line with a little bit of effort. Okay, now Boyden, after they finish dinner, this is about probably 2 hours later.
Oh my gosh.
So we're going at about 3:30 in the afternoon. You finally hear the mayor, Ellis, lumbering up the stairs, grumbling to himself, belching, farting. Insufferable woman. What am I going to do? What am I going to? And you hear the doors start working.
I'm gonna ready my dagger.
Oh,
Okay.
dude, what are you doing?
Okay, the door opens, and he walks in. You're behind him or actually, he goes to close the door behind him, and he sees you there, standing there with a knife in your hand.
Crap.
Rogue, what is the meaning of this? What's going on here?
Busted.
I put the knife to his throat and was like, "You better give me a good reason not to cut you right here."
I'm the mayor. What? I thought you were here to help us. Not? Are you one of the brigands? Are you a spy?
No, it seems like you seem to be in line with the brigands.
What? That's absolute nonsense.
I,
My own
I'm
son was killed by those monsters.
I'm gonna bluff. I'm gonna point at his desk because I didn't find anything. I'm not gonna make mention that I overheard him, but
What? There's nothing here. I'm involved in nothing. What is the meaning of this?
fine. Uh-oh. Well, I'm going to push him against the wall with the knife, and I overheard you silencing the brigand earlier. You seem to have. You seem to have. What do you call it?
Closeness? Know the guy?
You seem. You seem to not have the people's well-being as your intention.
Well, of course I do. I've done everything for this town. You have no idea the things I've done for this town.
Elaborate.
I've looked after the people. I've set things right
How do you set things right?
by doing what has to be done.
Like what?
Like that's all I have to say. If you're going to cut my throat, then do it and be done with it.
Are you sure?
What do you want from me, man?
Are you sure?
Borden gets a wiggly happy grin on his face, and this is the first time anyone told me that. Like, you sure? I'm willing to do that.
Damn it, man! We're trying to keep things together here. If you're not here to help, then maybe you and your friend should just shove off. We have enough problems without another group of brigands coming in.
Oh, um, uh, Ed and Melkor again.
Oh, okay. Oh, there you go. Yes, we have enough problems. We have brigands all over the countryside. And now we have you here causing problems.
I'm not causing problems.
You're in the mayor's office holding a knife to his throat. What the hell do you call that, sir?
Uh, business.
What kind of business are you in?
Legitimate business. I put my dagger away and I march down the stairs and I
You
turn
just
back.
walk out.
I just walk out and I'm like, I'm keeping an eye on you.
The freaking bad mayor story.
You see, Ed downstairs kind of just looks at you, watches you walk out the door. It's like you hear going up the stairs, and you hear shouting, the two of them back and forth.
I give her a wave and I head out.
She just kind of nods. Okay, Captain, or excuse me, Sir Edward. You're training the boys outside in the town hall or in the town market, which is right across from the mayor's house. You see Boyden just strut out of the mayor's office,
Strut.
and you hear shouting and screaming coming from inside the mayor's house.
Oh my god.
I think to myself, oh hell, what has he done? And I walk and I stopped in the middle of training and
Yeah,
start
everybody's looking. Everybody's kind of like looking at each other like, what in the hell just happened?
walking. Continue on. And I start walking towards.
Sir, shouldn't someone go find out what's going on in there?
That's where I'm going.
All right. So Captain Merrick starts screaming, "All right, you scurvy little bastards! You heard the man! Back to training! You!" He smacks the guy who was talking upside the head with his staff. So he gets them very quickly back in line and concentrating on their task.
Go,
Okay.
Captain Merrick.
Dan, you march over to the mayor's house. The door is just swinging open. Boyden's strutting.
Everything all right, Boyden?
Where am I right now?
You're walking by. He walks by you and asks you what's going on.
Hey, yep. I looked around his office, didn't find anything. I don't trust him. If he happens to stab us in the back, I'm putting a knife through his throat. That's all I got to say. He is unharmed, by the way, so no worries.
That's kind of what I was worried about.
Oh, no. I'm a businessman. I'm not a murderer.
My character's not present for this.
Okay.
I doubt something's going to top that if we're going to do the favorite scene of the evening and MVP, like as some online gamers do. I doubt that's going to be my favorite moment. Is Boyden and the freaking mayor.
Okay. So
It was because of my failed rolls, man.
Yeah,
So,
big guy.
so Sir Edward, you're standing outside the mayor's house. He and his wife are still screaming and yelling and freaking out. And Boyden's now wandering off, whistling like nothing's wrong. Captain Merrick's
I'm gonna wander
yelling at the guys.
I'm gonna
You
wander
go
into the
inside,
mayor's house.
and the mayor just kind of looks at you like, "It's another one!" Runs behind the
Calm
table.
yourself, sir.
And Edda just kind of like puts her hands on her hips and shakes her head. Sir Edward, I meaning no disrespect. But what in the hell is going on here? Your man was just in here. He had a knife to my husband's throat.
I will deal with him. I apologize, ma'am. And Sir Mayor, we should probably have a talk later.
Yes, at your convenience, of course, Sir Edward. Of course. And he bows and waves his hand. And he sits
Good
down and
day.
pulls out a bottle of wine and just starts chugging it.
Oh boy,
I say good day and I walk out.
that alcohol tendency of his might work in our favor later.
True.
Okay, so does anyone else want to do anything particularly destructive while there's still daylight left,
Brother
or shall we
Ainsley is
accelerate this?
with the horses, if possible, just outside the stables, minding his own business.
Is there a tavern or like a pub in
There
town?
is there's the Sparrow's Rest at the north of the town, just south of the barracks near the gate. And there's a place you've heard of called the Red Lantern, which is down at the south end of town in the kind of slum area, but none of you have been down that way yet. The Sparrow's Rest is standing, but a bit worse for wear. The brigands have partied in there and torn the place up. There's basically no alcohol or anything left, but people still occasionally gather there to talk and to gossip.
So the what's it called? The red.
There's the Sparrow's Rest is the respectable inn near the north gate, and the Red Lantern is somewhere in the slum area of town near the water.
Yeah. Okay. So I was able to read that some activities go on there. Correct.
Yes, people are complaining about being a den of iniquity and immorality.
Okay. Hmm. I will head over there, I guess, with the objective of seeing if there's any alcohol, and if there is, I'll buy rounds, and I'm going to try to dig up as much dirt as possible on the mayor.
Okay, well, you start heading to the southeastern quadrant of the town is mostly shacks. This is where all the poor people live. You know, muddy. There's not even really streets. There's just kind of paths through all the houses. A couple hundred people live down here.
Couple hundred.
Uh, yeah, the town has about 500 people all told. It's about a 500 person day. It's a decent sized town, and you see a couple people wandering around. Some urchins, mostly kids. The older folks are nowhere to be found right now, unless you start like pounding on doors or stuff. But you just see some kids in the street.
Ah,
Yeah, you don't exactly know where the Red Lantern is, except it's down by the water. Unless you just want to head to the lake and start looking around.
I'm gonna. I have time. I'm gonna just stroll around, wait, and basically take my time looking for this place.
Okay, after about like half hour, you get down to the shoreline, and you see there's a big building, and there's a bunch of people hanging out in front of it. It's very rough and shoddy, but it's definitely larger. It's the only multi-story building in this part of town.
All right. I attempt to enter.
Okay, well, you see a bunch of people sitting at tables out front. They're all just kind of being gloomy, eating gruel. Doesn't seem to be any drinking going on. Apparently, the bandits have looted all the booze in town except for the mayor's supply. He had quite a bit in his house. The door to the establishment itself, when you check, is shuttered. And there's a woman out there. She kind of crosses her arms. She goes, "Can I help you? The brothel's closed, sir. Not much business these days. No one
Uh,
has coin left."
uh, Understood. I'm actually here to dig up dirt on your fair mare.
Wow.
Oh, you'll hear plenty of dirt about the mayor here. I'd offer you a drink, but none of that left either.
It seems that he has quite a stock.
Yes, well, he always knows what's best for him.
He doesn't share it.
Not certainly not with folks from this part of town.
How about this? If I could procure you some alcohol, uh,
Go on.
let me know everything that you know about the mayor, because I believe that he is not acting with good intentions for this town. But I
Well,
can't seem to
that
quite
I'll
the
confirm for nothing, but I'll certainly take some booze.
okie dokes. I will make my way back to the mayor's house.
Oh my God.
I knew it. I knew it.
Okay. That's probably going to take another half hour. So, okay, it's getting on to be about, it's getting close to dusk.
Uh,
This
if I
time
may,
happens. Oh, yes, yes.
I didn't want to be standing outside the stables for hours.
Okay.
I would like to. It seems rather odd. Um, I would like Brother Ainsley to clean up and go visit the infirmary, check on tend to the sick and the wounded, especially those three seriously wounded soldiers, and
Okay,
do
so
the best he
you
can for
head
them.
down to the old church. That's right in the center of town as well.
Right.
You notice this is not a Catholic church. This is an old Celtic church.
That's fine.
It appears to have. It's pretty stripped down. It's basically just the bare building is left, and the doctor Wilhelm is there with his assistants, and they're seeing to your people.
Mhm.
He calls you over as soon as he sees you enter the door.
Yes. How may I be of assistance?
Uh, well, I'm afraid you can't be of much assistance, sir. It's one of the injured men you brought with you. I'm afraid he's not going to make it through the night.
Show me.
He walks you over there. It's a very young kid. He's about 17. He had just joined the Ravens.
Mhm.
That was his first battle, was the ambush, in fact. And he was horribly hacked up. You guys have been doing everything you can for him, but he just lost so much blood by the time he got here and got stitched up that he's utterly pale and he's delirious. He's become feverish and he's looking like he's on his very last leg. He's kind of mumbling to himself.
Is there anything I can do for the guy with herbalism skills, healing skills? I mean, we're talking about 9th century medicine here.
Yeah, yeah. You guys have been doing everything you could for him. He's just not going to make it.
Is that certain? Is there, or is there? I mean,
Yeah,
you
he's
mentioned,
he's he's feverish.
yeah,
Yeah,
you
it's
mentioned there was
just
a bit of
about
magic
over.
in your world.
There is, yeah, there is. Brigga, your healer, does have some, but she hasn't been able to bring him back. She's kept him more comfortable than would have otherwise been possible, but she hasn't really been able to restore his health very well. It's
Hmm,
because infection has set in, and she really can't do anything about
right.
that. She's healed his physical wounds to a great extent, but the infection has just taken over.
You know, and antibiotics haven't been invented yet,
No, nothing like
and
that.
my character having a magic of his own is quite out of it. Shoot. Brother Ainsley stays with him and prays with him, and and certainly he's delirious, but if he ever comes out of it, he'll take any last request the young man has and so forth.
Okay, so you're gonna sit with him through the night.
Unless there is someone else that he can aid more. Yes.
Okay. Sir Edward. Okay, you guys wrap up the training after a couple hours. Are you gonna head back to the church to rest, or do you have any other particular plans? Captain
That's
America
pretty much
has.
the plan, but I'm also going to tell the Captain America and all the people that were training that they need to go get a few hours of rest because there will be a watch over the night.
Okay, so you arrange for a watch. He'll have basically your surviving guys. You have 12 guys left from the that are still ambulatory from the Ravens, so they're patrolling around the palisade, and they're letting the
Right? And
locals
then I
take over
go to
during the
get,
day.
and then I'm going to stop by, I guess, Sparrow's Nest and get a meal before I go rest.
They have no food. They
Okay.
have no. They've been completely wiped out. The only food really left is at the church.
Going to the church.
Okay, so you get there and they tell you the same thing that one of the young members of the troop that you brought with you, one of the seriously wounded young men, is dying, and he's not expected to make it through the night. Brother Ainsley is sitting with him.
Yeah.
I go to the young man and I ask him if he has any family he would like to have word sent
He's
about his.
Delirious.
Yeah, he's delirious. He doesn't even acknowledge you. He's just mumbling to
Okay.
himself. Although he keeps saying the wolf.
The wolf. What kind of?
You
Wait a
can't,
second.
you can't make anything else out.
What kind of injuries does he have?
He was cut and stabbed
By
and
blades or
bludgeoned
by
multiple times.
claws?
Oh no, he was injured in the battle.
Right, I get that. But if he's going on about a wolf, does he have any kind of markings whatsoever that are anything less than human?
Oh no, nothing new. No
All
new
right,
wounds
I was
was
afraid he was
appeared.
attacked during the night or something. Okay.
No, he's delirious and he's mumbling about the wolf. He keeps saying
Listen.
the wolf. Okay, sorry, go on.
So all three of us are present?
No, actually, Boyden is skulking around. He's nearby, skulking
that's
around the
right.
mayor's house, waiting for it to get dark so he can break in again. Apparently, unless you want to give up that plan.
I have a plan, guys.
Yeah, and now you have a plan. So, but we're better than the last one.
Okay, we'll say the sun goes down. Sir Edward and Brother Ainsley are sitting with the wounded soldier who's dying, and the sun goes down. Yeah, you don't hear any more sound coming from inside the house right now. There is a light on in the bedroom. You can see from the shutter of the bedroom window.
Is there a light on in the office?
There is not.
All right, I'm going to scale the wall up to the window and pull the window shutters open.
Okay, do you have outdoor?
Outdoor.
How does that?
I have one.
Okay, and what is your skullduggery?
4.
Okay, so your skullduggery -2 can be used for climbing as well. So 2, you're
Not
better off
athletics?
with that. So, or do you have athletics? Athletics -1 will also work.
Let me check. Athletics 2.
All right.
Okay, so +2 is your best one. So give me it's a simple roll. So give me a 7 or better +2.
All right. 7 or better +2. 11.
Nice.
13.
You just bound up the wall easily. You get to the shutters. However, there is a latch holding them closed.
Right.
You feeling it, you could snap it, but you'd have to snap it. It's just a little like brass hook. So I mean,
No, when you say
just
snap,
pull
do you
it
mean
open.
damage?
Yeah, you would have to break the latch off. I mean, you could do it very easily. You just give them a good tug and it'll break, but you will have broken it.
I can't feed my knife underneath it. Is it too
Oh, you
method
can
enough?
try that. What's your skullduggery?
4.
Okay, so give me a +3. I'm going to give you a -1 on that, just because you're hanging to the top of a building. So give me a 7 or better +3.
Didn't you say there was a ledge outside? Could you use
Yeah,
that?
there's the ledge, but he's kind of got a.
I got it.
There's
9
another.
+ 3 is 11.
Okay, so you easily slip
Cool.
your knife in there. It flips open, and you climb into the office.
I'm
It's
going
dark
to.
in there. There's a bit of light coming in from the window now, but
I've been in here before. I am going to try to. Is there like a candle in here?
oh yes, there's a candle present, and you've got a tinder box on you, so you can try to light a candle.
I'll light a candle, and I'm going to take all the booze.
Okay,
That I saw earlier.
There's about a dozen bottles, and these are big, like jug bottles with the wicker around them. So it probably be like 40 pounds in like a big sack full.
All right.
What's
So
your body?
are you going to take all of it?
Yes.
Okay. Give me a stealth roll -2. So your stealth bonus -2 on.
My stealth bonus is 3. So it's
Okay,
going to be.
+1, 7 or better +1.
Don't fail me now. Oh, 7. I
Okay.
rolled a 6.
At one point, you You drop one of the bottles. It doesn't break, but it makes it like hits the wall, and you just freeze. But you don't hear anything.
Oh, ah.
Don't give yourself away.
Okay, now you've got a big sack full of bottles, and they're clanging around a reasonable amount. Now, do you want to try? And this is a big, like 40-pound sack of that you're carrying. Are you going to try to go back out the window, or are you going to try to sneak down the stairs with this thing?
No.
I'm gonna tie a rope around the bag and I'm gonna fish it out the window
Okay.
because I'm not stupid enough to try to climb out with like 40 pounds of stuff. Um,
Okay. Sir Edward, you guys are sitting there with the young boy who's dying. You get up to stretch your legs at one point. You pass by the open window of the church.
Oh
You
no.
freeze in place. You take a step back and look out the window, and you notice from the mayor's house a big sack on a rope lowering from one of the upstairs windows.
By the saints. Wait a second, we're too early for that.
Uh,
By Christ.
brother,
Jesus.
I try to get Brother Ainsley's attention and say, "Hey, look at this."
Oh, he's looking. He's looking. With my character's
Is that
perception.
Boyden or is that abandoned?
That is
Boyden. Or is
Boyden.
that abandoned? I think it's
He's legitimately making off with illegitimate goods.
And
That
as
isn't
a
that the
moment
mayor's
later,
wife?
as you're watching, you see him use do indeed see Boyden climb out the window, following the bag and scuttling down the wall.
We better go over there.
all right, let's go.
Okay, so
He said
Boyden.
one more prayer for the dying kid.
Okay,
And
so Boyden, you get out the window. You're feeling very proud of yourself. You did it without being heard by anyone inside. You hoist the bag up over your shoulder, clink, clink, clank. You turn around to head south back towards the Darks, and there is Sir Edward and Brother Ainsley staring you right in the face.
I smile bright and big and be like, "Hey, what's up, fellas?"
wait a second. Are we right beside the mayor's house?
Yes, you walked out, and the time he had everything ready, you were up there. It's very close by. It's like 20 feet away.
What kind of legitimate businessman are you that does not value silence? Come along.
I was silent. Nobody.
Shh.
Oh, yes.
My God. Sneakily get back to the church without Doofwad over here blowing the whole thing. Brother Boyden is a trip. And can the alcohol help the dying kid in any way?
It might make him feel a little bit better. It's not going to save him.
Boyden takes one of the bottles out of the pack and hands it to
Right.
the brother and be like, "I'm here to share this with the people, and I'm trying to see whether or not."
Just then, it starts raining.
Wait, where are we now?
You're outside the mayor's house, and it just boom. It just starts pouring down.
We're
And you're
out
all
of there.
standing there getting soaking
No,
wet.
no. We're not. I'm not hanging. I don't know about you two, but I'm not.
Well, you guys are still having this argument outside the
not
mayor's
loudly.
house.
I'm sorry. I thought we were back at the old church. My mistake.
Okay, no.
No, we're not having.
Well, you're right there. You're right out. You're across the street from there.
Get to the church.
I'm going to hand brother a bottle, and I'm going to make mention that I'm going to be heading back to the
You're coming with us.
unsavory tavern
Boyden,
by the
come with us right now.
fine.
And then you just notice something very odd.
What's that?
You hear a huge, loud, echoing cry of a wolf.
Yep, that's what.
And as soon as it ends, the rain just stops.
I get to the kid as quickly as possible.
I head to the old church to wake up Captain America. Oh no, they're already patrolling, ain't they? So I'm going to find Captain America and tell him to prepare this troops.
He comes running towards you. He's like, "Did you hear that?"
Yes, we need to prepare the walls and the defenses. I don't know
Right,
what that
sir.
is.
He runs into the church, runs up to the tower, starts banging the bell. People start coming out in the street. The mayor is in his like nightshirt and his little hat with the pom on it. He comes, what's going on? What's going on? And he kind of looks at Boyden. He's standing there with a big bag of something. He doesn't know what.
Wait a
He's kind of like,
second. Whoa,
oh,
whoa,
whatever.
whoa, whoa. Doc, hold on a second.
What?
I'm sorry. Did you guys honestly stay out there this whole time in the pouring rain and not get into the church?
It literally happened over seconds.
Yes.
You were just kind of shocked by it. Just start pouring rain on you. You heard this horrible wolf
Unbelievable.
call, and then it just stopped.
So, okay, just for the sake of details, where is my character?
You are standing roughly halfway between the mayor's house and the old church.
Heading towards the old church, straight
Okay.
away.
Okay, and everybody's starting to gather into the street. The church bell is ringing now, and people are gathering up in the market center. Okay, Sir Edward, what are you doing while this is going on?
I'm going back to the church to get my weapon.
Okay, you get in there, you start suiting up. Brother Ainsley, you head to the young man, you said?
Yes.
He is stone dead. His eyes and mouth are wide open as if in shock.
As I feared. As he gets on his knees and prays for the boy's soul and composes him as best as he can.
You start hearing wolf calls from all around the town, from outside the walls. It sounds like there's dozens and dozens and dozens of them. They just keep calling back and forth, answering one another.
I am very nerved by that, and because the other tavern is too far away, I want to go to the one that's in town.
Okay, they're about equal distance from the center of town, just in opposite directions.
Boyden is not coming to the old church as he said he would.
Oh, fine. I'm going to the old church.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'll assume you just set
Please
the
don't make my
booze
character
down
crawl.
somewhere carefully in a corner to be dealt with later. Okay, the makeshift militia gathers up in the marketplace. Your men are still at the Palisades, keeping watch, and Captain America is trying to get everyone armed and ready.
You said the sound of the wolf cries were coming from in the town as well?
Now, they sound like they're outside the walls, but it sounds like dozens and dozens of them in all directions, like they're surrounding the town, and it's going on and on. They're not stopping. You just hear wolf after wolf after wolf calling.
I have a question.
Yes.
My character has 4 ranks in perception, 2 in outdoor,
Okay.
and he has excellent hearing.
Mhm.
He was also raised in a rural country. Now, whether there are wolves out there is up to you. Is this the honest sound of wolves, or is this human beings mimicking wolves?
These sound very much like real wolves.
Real wolves, and from the dozens of them,
Yes, dozens and dozens of them.
and not put together like a pack, but scattered.
It appears to be pretty equal from every direction around the town, west, east, and north. The south
Okay.
of the town is where the lake is.
They've been coached. Okay, thank you. Oh, one more thing.
Yes.
I've yet to use my character's academic skill. Might there be some way has he heard anything of any tales? Or can he use his general lore? Anything about a wolf in Welsh lore, perhaps, that matches this?
Well, there's the usual tales of like giant wolves in the mountains and the forest, and where people who believe there are werewolves. You've read a couple of court cases of people who were convicted of being werewolves and were burned alive. You were
Right.
kind of dubious as to how real that was.
But anything specific to this case?
Nothing that you recall that has anything to do with this particular region.
Thank you.
And now, besides the militia gathered, most of the town is gathered up and is gathering up in the marketplace, all clustered together. And the mayor is looking for you, Sir Edward. So what's going on? What's happened? What's happened? What is going on? We haven't heard this wolf cries like this. what are we going to do? And
Sir
his
Edward,
wife is like tugging on him, like she's encouraging him to shut up.
Yes,
um,
brother.
may I recommend fire? Bring as many torches as possible. Wolves don't like fire.
It's raining.
No,
No,
it
it's
rained briefly and stopped.
Oh, okay.
Rained for literally about 10 seconds.
Wolves can't open doors, so I would say anyone, everybody inside that's not combat worthy.
One wolf seems to be able to do it. Remember the one at the window?
You do hear some people in the crowd, however, mention something like it's happening again. You hear things to that effect a few times.
What's happening?
Do you like grab someone?
Yeah.
We've heard this before. The night the old Baron was killed. This happened then.
It could be a fear tactic.
No, this was before the bandits. This was months before the bandits came.
What took place? Pray tell.
There was a terrible storm the night the old Baron died. There was a terrible storm, and then we heard the wolves, and it went on all night.
And?
It was a curse. It was a curse from his gods, I say.
Whose gods?
The old Baron's. And as soon as she says that, somebody in the crowd backhands her in the mouth and tells her to shut up.
What does my character know of Welsh wolf gods of this nature? He's half Welsh himself.
Yeah, nothing. You don't. Yeah, it doesn't ring any bells for you.
I look over at the mayor. Does he look like he's scared?
He looks scared shitless.
Because he's
absolutely just pale white. He's just kind of like looking around.
Um,
and his wife is trying to drag him back to the house, but he's just like unresponsive. And the guy who hit the girl says, "Shut up, you little cur. We don't speak of that. We don't speak of this."
I tell him, "Hold your hand, sir. I need to know what's going on here so we can properly handle the situation."
Nothing is going on here. Things were bad enough before your lot showed up here. You should all just leave. You should all just go. You're making things worse. Now you've awoken the old Baron, as if we didn't have enough problems with the bandits.
Awoken the old Baron, you say?
I'll say no more. I'll say no more. We did what we had to do. We did what was right. We did right by God. We did.
To the detriment of this town. He still holds you under its power. You want more victims? One man already has died tonight. Tell us what you know.
There's nothing to say. We did right by the Lord and his ways. You're a clergyman. You should understand that. Pagans need killing. That's what they're for. That's what you do with pagans. You kill them. You drive them out. You don't let them rule over you.
Judgment is left.
A whole bunch of people are grabbing him and telling him to shut up now. They're like, "Don't, be quiet, be quiet."
The plot thickens.
Mm-hmm. And we are not in defensible positions, shall we?
Right. I make my way towards the where we piled up the bodies. I want to see if anything's been done with the pile of bodies.
Well, the bodies were taken down to the piers, and they were burned earlier.
I'm going to the old church like a good boy.
I'm going to take, if he will and his wife will allow it, I get to the mayor and his wife and get them to the old church.
Yeah, you usher them there. He's pretty senseless. He's babbling to himself. Nothing that makes any sense, though. You can't.
I'm listening to the wife. Words. I want to know if the wife has anything to say about this.
She's just kind of looking around wide-eyed, like she doesn't know what to say or do.
Were you here when it happened?
When what happened, sir? We did. The wolves. We were all here.
The Baron, and lower your voice. What took place as we're going into the old church?
And when you asked that, the Baron kind of, or the mayor kind of said, "He's go, you keep your mouth quiet, woman."
Now you come out of your daze. What are you afraid of, your village or your soul?
We have nothing to fear for our souls. We did what was right. We did the Lord's work.
And look at do you agree with the results?
Oh, it's unholy business. We've been cursed. We've been cursed. You should do something about it. You're the holy man.
I can't do it if I don't know what's broken. Will you aid me or not, Mayor? Do you not have duty to this town and its people while there are still people living in the town?
He he sits down at a table. And Sir Edward, I'm guessing you're here as well.
Yes.
Okay, so the two, all right, you'll actually all be there because Boyden went in to drop his booze off. So he sits down and kind of sighs and hangs his head a minute, and like the old Baron, the old Baron was a pagan. The king put him above us. And we weren't ready to be ruled over by a pagan. We are good Christian folk in this town. First, he brought in the Celtic Church and said they were free to be here. Then he allowed his pagan subjects to build some kind of unholy shrine up in the woods to the north. Well, we had quite enough of that, so we dealt with it. We went to the castle. We demanded he leave, but he wouldn't go.
And is that when the wolf came?
No, the wolves came after. The Baron's men were mostly lost fighting against the Essex forces, and well, he only had about a dozen guards left in his retinue. And
Did the wolves come and breach the town?
the wolves we didn't see until after the Baron died.
What was the cause of his death?
We tried to make him leave peaceably. We tried to. He wouldn't
What
go.
was the cause of his death? How did he face his demise? I need evidence.
We crucified him.
You crucified him in the name of God.
It's what you do with bloody pagans, isn't it?
The same that the Romans did with Jesus Christ.
Ah, it's right he should share in the suffering of the man who suffered for his sins and who he rejected. It's only right. It's what you do with apostates, so it only seems right that we did it with a pagan.
And
And
now
things
the
were
wolves
quiet for a week, and then the wolves started coming.
Does
They
the
would-
Baron have any connection with wolves that you know of? Anything at all? The shrine.
He had a great wolf.
He
a
had a
pet.
great wolf.
Yes, a huge beast. That thing we saw in the window that night. We tried to kill it too, but it ran off.
Does this have a name?
If it did, he never spoke in front of me.
And what of this shrine north of here? Who was it dedicated to?
I don't know. It's some pagan mound far off into the woods.
Does it still exist?
We did not go there. None of us. The good folk don't go into those woods.
Perhaps not, but if there's a curse laid on the woods, where does the village reside upon? The very land the curse may be upon, if there is such a thing.
Yes, we
But you
killed.
killed the bear. You killed the Baron yourself, and now people fear that retribution is upon them for the act. This, Sir Edward, this is beyond military matters. We need to look into this. What say you, sir?
Yes,
Do
we
as you
do,
must.
but
Do
we're
as you
also-
must.
I'm sorry, I
we
didn't
do
hear what
need to
Edward.
look into it. We do need to look into it, but we're also on the heels of a potential siege as well by the bandits. So it's not like we can leave to go get help with the
Agreed.
situation.
One thing at a time, that's for certain.
Quick
Yeah.
question.
Now we have wolves on
So-
our heels.
The Baron was in service of the same king that we follow.
Yes, he was appointed by by King Percival of Caerleon. The Caerleon practices officially religious tolerance. They tolerate Catholics, Celtic Christians, and there are many pagans.
It's one of the reasons the Ravens exist. The Ravens were multi-religious.
Yep, we are.
Right.
I think, if possible, we need to find a way to negotiate because this doesn't sit right with me. Even if,
Negotiate with what?
hmm,
I mean, this is all out of character because your character isn't there. But what do you mean?
Yeah.
No, you're all gathered in the church.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't. My character didn't say anything. I'm just talking out loud.
okay. In that case, all right. No, so but please carry on with your thought. Negotiate with the Baron who is dead. What? I don't know where your thoughts are going.
The pagans.
The pagans.
Find out what we can do to him. I don't know.
The mayor offers the pagan. There weren't many pagan residents in the town, and the ones that were either died with the Baron or they fled.
Do you know which direction they fled to?
Oh, they just scattered.
As anyone leaving?
Most of them died at the old castle when we with the Baron.
Defending him?
Yes, yes.
So they held him in high enough regard to give them their very lives. This is a storied town indeed. How do the wolf sounds? How do they sound? Are they just calling out to each other?
They've died out by now, but they went on for
Wow.
a good 20, 30 minutes. It was just continuous
But
back
it
and
wasn't
forth.
all night long like
No.
when the Baron died. We appear to have a third faction involved in this mess.
This complicates things.
Greatly. Mayor, is there anything else you would care to add?
I don't know what else there is to say.
If you have questions, my lads, this is the time to add them. And look at his wife. You, ma'am, for the sake of the town?
After killing the Baron, what did y'all do with the body?
We crucified the Baron, and the others we just left scattered in the castle grounds where they fell.
Where did you leave the Baron's body?
It's outside his castle on the island.
Did you mark it in some way?
What do you mean?
Could you find it again?
Did you leave him
It's in the
crucified?
middle of the lake. It's on your map. It's on the map.
Very good. Very well. Very well.
There's a causeway that leads out to it.
Yeah,
Did you leave him crucified on the cross?
Of course.
that is the way of crucifixion.
No one's been back there since.
We should head over there.
Not tonight. They are dead to bury. Looks towards the fallen kid.
Oh, I didn't notice the kid. When did he pass?
When the wolves, directly when the wolves came, as he muttered much about them. And then when we went off to go find you, when I returned, I found him dead, as with an expression so dire as if the devil himself had come for him. Sir Merrick, Sir Merrick, Sir, I will do, of course, as you command, as you are the commander of the Ravens, and I am but one of many. What would you have us do?
I think we should probably say a prayer and try to ease the people in the church and get as comfortable as possible, but also stay on guard for anything that could potentially happen.
I've been here in the church for hours. It is as well maintained as possible. The only wounds that we cannot take care of are the ones that the Lord himself has designed. The souls that the Lord chooses to take are beyond our ability to keep.
If nothing untoward happens tonight, may I suggest visiting the old castle when day breaks?
We will have to pass the old church on the way, and that bandit says that there are more bandits at the church, so we should be prepared.
Yeah, looking at the map, we have to pass by the main church in order to get to the castle.
If you go by land, yes.
If you go by land,
Oh, we could leave the piers and boat over there.
It is my assumption that the town rebelled against the Baron. We have crests for the Ravens, right?
I'm sorry, what's that?
We have crest for the Ravens, right?
Oh, yes.
Noticeably. They may not attack us on sight. Well, we did kill 4 of them, but they don't know what happened to them. I would just keep that to ourselves and say like the townspeople did it. I'm underneath my breath, but I would say we should try to attempt it and see, because there's only so much we can do without any weapons. Training townspeople with like brooms and pitchforks.
Spears is the word that would best serve us.
Sure.
I want to try something.
Hey.
Work. Okay.
Are you casting a spell?
No, I was trying to get my avatar up. My character has no spells. This is not Dungeons and Dragons. Perhaps down the road. Doc said he wouldn't allow any magic using classes at first until we got to know the game better.
Okay, so are you guys gonna wait till the morning, or are you gonna head straight over to? Are you gonna try to head to the castle now?
Wait till morning.
I
Okay.
did it! Look!
Did you use your phone?
No.
Hey, you
I
got
did
the
not-
avatar working.
Yes, I did not realize that in the upper left-hand corner of our restream, there is a 3-dot option that says change avatar.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to tell you earlier.
Sure, Melkor. Just kidding.
Okay, well, it only took me pretty much the entire stream to work that out, but we're gonna take the time.
I'll take what I can.
Yep.
Okay, so you guys will bed down for the night. There's no more trouble. There's no more sound of wolves, and no one attacks the gates. Everything seems very calm after that little strange incident.
What time of day is it?
It's this all basically wraps up probably by like 10 in the evening. Hello, did we lose someone?
No, I'm here.
Oh,
Nope.
okay.
Playing with
Everybody's here.
Okay, cool. So yeah, by around 10 in the evening, the whole episode is over. You've talked to the mayor, and nothing else seems to happen. Everybody's pretty on edge, but your boys continue to patrol the Palisades, reinforced by your makeshift militia from the town. But there's no hide nor hair of bandit or wolf.
I'm bringing the wine, by the way.
Well, you've got that in the church, stored in the church right now. Are you going to do something in particular with that, or are you just going to leave it there for now?
I'm going to bring it as a bargaining chip.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we'll say you guys get your rest. Bright and early the next morning, everybody's up. So, what are your plans?
Bear the young lad, if we're allowed to by the mayor.
Yeah, he's not going to tell you squat now. He's pretty much cowed.
There's at least one blessing to start the day with. After that holy work,
We should have asked if the Baron had a son.
Oh, you can still ask him. He and his wife held up in the church. They were frightened, so they're still there.
Oi, Mayor,
Yes.
does the Baron have any children?
He had one son, but he died fighting the Saxons.
Okay. So
didn't we hear about him before, or am I mistaking someone else? In the last session 2 weeks ago, something about the Baron's son.
Died fighting the Saxons. Does he have a wife that's still alive?
No, his wife passed away years ago.
Does the Baron's son have a son?
Not that we know of.
All right. We have something to go on. Well, we're off. We're going to check out this old castle.
Okay, how do you guys want to go about getting there? Are you going to try to take the land route, or are you just going to try
Well,
to?
hold on a minute. Is this? It's Sir Edward leads the Ravens, and if yes, wants if, Melkor, if your character wants us to do something else,
Oh yeah. You could always overwrite me, man.
I definitely want to go check out this old castle and see what we could potentially find.
Melkor, could you speak up, please?
I definitely think we should go to the old castle.
Okay. By way
By
of
land or water does not matter to me, but I don't have any seamanship.
do they have any spare boats?
Doc, is there any boats available? Oh, you're muted.
Sorry, yeah, there's about probably about 10 boats there. You can fit 4 to 5 people in each.
Alrighties.
Just little fishing boats.
We do have like was it a quartermaster, or what do you call the type of person that is good at training militia?
Captain
Well,
Merrick.
you have Captain Merrick. There's Quartermaster Quint. There's Helga the healer, Helga the cook, Brigga the healer, who's her daughter, and you have about a dozen healthy men from the Ravens soldiers.
So we could leave people behind to keep training up the villagers.
Yeah.
While we wander off and go adventuring.
Right.
So how are you guys going to set off? Are you going to go by the land route, or are you going to take the boats?
I'm going to take the boats, but I'm going to look around for a villager that knows how to operate one.
Okay, yeah, you find somebody. It takes a bit of coercing to get somebody willing to go to the castle. Also, are you going to take any men with you, or is it just the 3 of you who are going to go?
I think we should maybe take. I think we should take 3 guys with us, and we'll leave 9 and the captain and the rest of everybody here.
Sounds like a plan.
All right.
Trek red shirts. Just kidding.
I do have a monthly stipend, so I could pay off this boat captain, fisherman.
Yeah, it's just a local fisherman.
Wait a second, Doc.
Yes.
My character has a local stipend too, but how in the world do we receive it?
You would have to get back to Camelot or your personal lands.
Right. So we don't have anything in that stock.
Well, you have whatever cash you had after a character.
Yeah, I could spend my cash, and when we get back, I'll be able to replenish it.
Okay. Because on my character sheet, I didn't add anything from the stipend. I asked.
Yeah, that starts once gameplay goes. So
okay, that's what I thought.
In a month,
right.
you'll get your first payments from that.
Yeah.
And how long is the boat ride?
Oh, it's let's see, it's calm waters. It's about 2 miles across the lake.
That's not
from
bad
where
at all.
you are. So an hour.
I pay the fine lad 10 silver pieces.
Well, that's quite a noble sum. That calms him down a good deal.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, I'll take you. So it's the 3 of you, and you're taking 3 soldiers with you.
Yes.
Okay, footmen, archers, or some mixture of the 2. You have 6 of each.
We'll leave the archers for the walls. And,
Okay, so 3 of the footmen.
Right.
Okay, they're basically light infantry. Riveted mail or riveted leather armor. They'll have spears, swords, and shields. Okay, so let's see. So 6 of you, you can find a boat that'll fit all 6 of you plus the young fisherman that'll take you across. Takes you about 40 minutes. The closest side of the island is a bit of a cliff. You could climb it, but it would be a chore. Do you want to? The young gentleman says the northern shore is a bit smoother, and although it's very heavily forested and pretty bushy. Or you could go around the south side, but you'd have to go all the way to the far end of the island before you could find a place you could land near the causeway.
Ask the fisherman. What have you seen and heard of this castle?
I was never here. I didn't take part in that madness. The Baron was a good man. I
No,
have nothing
I mean
against his
after
kind.
the Baron. Recently, have you? Does anyone reside there?
No one's come here since that happened.
Sir Edward, what precisely are we looking for by going after the Baron?
Um,
I can't hear you.
I'm not really sure. I just knowing that the heinous act of a lord being assassinated, pretty much. I just want to see what may be left behind here.
Well, at the very least, we can honor the dead.
Okay,
All right,
so
we
do
can
you
take
guys
him
want
down
to?
and bury him.
Brother Ainsley, are you familiar with burial rites for pagans?
If there's one person who might be, it would probably be Brother Ainsley. He's both English and Welsh. Um,
Alrighties.
I- what skills do you require for that, Doc?
Uh, wouldn't really be a particular skill. I mean, you wouldn't know any particular rituals, but you know that they tend to bury their dead in mounds, bury them and put mounds over the graves.
Mhm.
And from what we're told, he's still hanging on a crucifix.
Right.
We should rectify that immediately.
Okay, now the fisherman wants to know, where do you want to land? Do you want to land on the shorter distance to the north shore, where you have to go through the forest and the swamp, or do you want to circumvent the island? It's about twice as long, but you could come to the foot of the causeway and it'd be a little clearer headed in.
Let's take the safer option.
Yeah. Sir Edward, what do you say?
Right, the long way, so we're not having to track through a swamp.
Okay, as you start going around the island, you know, three sides of the island are surrounded by very steep cliffs, and there's a fog over the island the
Hmm.
whole time. There's a light fog over the lake, but it's very dense around the island. As you get to the foot of the causeway and you make land, and the young fisherman is like, I suppose you're going to want me to wait for you here, aren't you?
Um, I hand
Uh,
him 5 more silver and say, if we're not back in 2 hours, leave.
All right, sir. All right. Okay, so you make landing. It's pretty flat here. It's a very stony beach. There's a path leading from the causeway that's paved but kind of torn up. The fog is very, very thick. As you, it's about, let me see, about 3/4 of a mile walk to get to the castle proper. As you get approach, you start noticing a weird green tint to the fog. You hear no birds, no insects. The trees appeared to be diseased and dead, and this is the sight you see as you approach the castle.
I'd like to pause our retinue here and perform a holy prayer to God for his protection.
Okay, and we're at the 2 hour mark, and we will pick this up in 2 weeks
Woohoo!
with you guys in front of the castle.
Nice.
And I finally got my avatar.
Yeah.
Thanks for your help, Boyd, and everybody.
Oh no. I wish you could get an animated avatar like me. But
No. I don't require anything like that. I just want something to show a bit of truth to the character, and I'll leave the animated Star Trek stuff in your capable hands.
Okay, and I'm going to end the stream proper right here. So we will pick this up in 2 weeks' time. That will be on, let's see, the 16th of February, 5 o'clock Eastern again. And hope to see everybody